Oh, hey everybody. I've been debating on doing this for a while. I see all the videos that show support for police officers, sheriff's deputies, and the things they're going through in today's society, the things they're going through in life with work. And I've noticed that there's very few videos that talk about what corrections officers go through. And that's where I'm starting this channel. It's the Salty CO. Background about myself. I'm a 17-year veteran working in prisons. I worked for a state agency for 5 years. And for the past 12 years, I've worked for another agency. Not going to tell you which agency. Try not to get myself on the naughty list at work. But my intent is just talk about trends, talk about ways we can help each other succeed and move past some of the stuff that we see, the unique things that we deal with in our line of work, and go from there. Like and share, comment, let me know what you guys want to talk about, anything that's unique to your institution. We're also going to talk about some of the funny things that happen that we see daily, day in and day out. Things that outside of our own company, people tend to find inappropriate, don't see the humor in it, things like that. So, welcome, and I hope you guys can enjoy this journey with me. I've never done this myself. It's my first time doing a YouTube video of any kind. Really not going to get political on this. Really not. We're going to try to keep it very oriented on the topic at hand, which is corrections and the mental well-being of corrections officers and how we deal with the issues that we deal with day in, day out. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. And, like I said, like, share, subscribe. Let's start talking about this stuff. Let's stop hiding in the shadows and in the corners and thinking of ourselves as the redheaded stepchildren of law enforcement. We deal with these people that the cops arrest at every level, from pre-trial to post-conviction, to even those that, in my case, have never seen the inside of a courtroom other than to say that, yep, you're not mentally fit to stand trial. And you won't stand trial until the judge finds that there's enough evidence from the doctors that you are going to be able to understand what you're going through. So, let's have fun on this journey. Let's talk about things. Let's, kind of start getting rid of the stigma of corrections and us being just prison guards. Brings me a good, interesting point to start this whole thing off with. Years ago, when I worked for the state, it was a northern state, smaller population. The institution I was at had a population of about 500 inmates. And they were wondering why at the state pen, 90 miles away, so many officers were leaving and going to work for the county. And they couldn't figure it out. Like, why? Our benefits are so much better. The benefits were great. That state, they paid for your entire health insurance premium. I'm talking, didn't matter if it was you alone, your family, whatever. It was paid for entirely by the state. Your paycheck, only thing they had taken out of it was your pension, your payment to your retirement account, your 403B, your whatever you want to call it, and taxes. And if you had extra insurance like dental, vision, that stuff. But your health insurance, your premium, was paid for by the state. So the state was trying to figure out, why were all of our officers leaving for the county? This doesn't make sense. Well, then they went and looked, and they saw that county detention deputies were making, on average, about $400 more a month than state officers were. And they're like, well, wait. This doesn't make sense. We can't have counties out paying our officers. So they went to the legislature and they asked the legislature, hey, we need a pay increase. We need a pay raise for our officers. And in the media for the state, it was unreal. It was, why do we need to pay these people so much more money? Their education consists of a high school diploma. They don't have to have college. They just needed a high school diploma or a GED to work there. Because they looked at the minimum requirements. They looked at what was needed to get hired. They conveniently left out the fact that when you started, you ended up going through 120 hours of training in your first year. That every year after that, if you were a regular line officer, you had to do 43 hours a year of training. And a lot of that training with that agency, it was on your day off. You'd come in, sit in the training area for, in some cases, 8 hours, depending on if it was a mandatory training day. Or if it was an elective training, it could be a couple hours. And that 43 hours included weapons qualifications. If you carried your own personal handgun, which they allowed you to do if the need arose, you went on your own to the range on the range day and fired your pistol and qualified. So there's that 43 hours right there. And then you looked at those on the special teams. I was a member of our institution special operations response team. I had to have a minimum of 72 hours every year. Then you look at the law enforcement agencies in the state, and their training requirements were 40 hours every 2 years. So the state turned around and debated and actually looked at what some of us officers actually had for degrees. You had guys that had, majority of us had bachelors. I had a bachelor's in criminal justice. I was working on that one. You had others that are going for their masters. You had some that are PhDs. Heck, where I work now, I know guys that are licensed social workers that are a CO. They wanted to get the degree. They got the degree and what they wanted, and they just haven't found the opportunity to use it yet. I've seen officers continuously educate themselves and move on and better themselves. And the agencies just don't seem to recognize it. Luckily, in this case, the state did recognize us. I think I ended up getting, as a regular correction officer too, the $400, $600 a month pay raise, which made a world of difference, especially when you're getting paid once a month, because that's what the state paid us, once a month. If you had any holidays or overtime, got paid a couple weeks later, but your main paycheck was once a month. And that made a world of difference at $600. So it gets to the point of people look at the qualifications of corrections officers and they talk about how, well, you guys are just prison guards. The reality is we're not guards. Guards are at the mall. Guards are at the hospital. The agency I worked for the longest time, was the only agency in our community that was routinely allowed to carry a firearm at the hospital and keep it there. The police department, up until recently, wasn't allowed to leave the ER, and only then it was to drop off somebody that was in their custody, and they became custody of the hospital. But yet I'm just a prison guard, and so are some of you watching us. We're just prison guards. We're not officers. We're not anything special, because all you need is a 4-year degree. If you're lucky, some places you need high school diploma. Completely discounts everything that we do, and it makes everything we do day in, day out, the crap we deal with, the threats of assault, the threats of murder, death, of unspeakable things being done to our family, makes it seems so much worse and less to the world when they sit there and they look at our minimum requirements. I've lost track of the number of times I've gone to work and been threatened, had my family threatened, ran into inmates in this community while holding my son And the inmate looking at me and go, hey, are you still an FNCO? As I have my son, infant son, in my arms. Dude walks up to me and says that. What other career field do you deal with this stuff? What other career fields do you have people hold grudges like that, who purposely will come and seek you out and make threats against your family and then want to carry out those threats? So the biggest thing to take away from this is keep your heads held high. Yeah, I know we are the underappreciated, unappreciated, redheaded stepchild law enforcement. But I've heard from plenty of officers that are, police officers, county deputies, they would never want to do our job. And they're grateful that there's people that are willing to do it, that are professionals. So, welcome to the channel. Hopefully we can keep this going. Hopefully you guys can come up with some good ideas to talk about. I have some ideas already, but let me know in the comments what you guys want to see, what you guys want to talk about, what you guys want to hear. And I'll gladly share some of the stories I've heard in my 17 years doing this. And I've got another 13 to go before I can retire. Peace out, stay safe, and watch your backs. Watch out for each other.